G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Survival Let's Play series with me, Guy. This is episode 11. In the last episode, we made that massive thing in the background. We made a massive tree farm and also a tree shop. If you guys haven't seen it, I would recommend you go ahead and check it out because we're not going to talk about it too much in today's episode. In fact, we're going to not talk about it at all because we have a lot of things to do in today's episode. Speaking of today's episode, I want to say thank you guys to all those who have commented in the last episode about what we could make and what we could build in this world, in these dead little spots, these dead areas. I did ask you guys in the last episode for some ideas and you guys came through, so I want to say thank you very, very much. And to those who subscribed and liked the video, thank you very, very much as well. But with that being said, let's get cracking. Like I said, we've got a whole bunch of builds today, so we cannot dilly-dale. Dilly-dale? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make a nice little build over here. We've got a whole bunch of space here, as you can see, a nice big space, but I think we're going to make it a little bit bigger. We're going to remove maybe this tree, and perhaps that tree, and we're going to add in a nice greenhouse right over there. And hopefully it looks decent in that spot. It's going to be nice and dead smack in that center over there. It's going to be a nice little circle greenhouse with a nice little dome roof at the very top. Should be very nice and simple, and I'm really excited about this build because we get to use some of the copper blocks, the different gradient stages of the blocks. Usually I use just the oxidized state, but in today's build we're going to use all four of them, which I'm really excited for you guys to see, and hopefully you guys like it. But with that being said, the sun is setting, so we better start building right now so we can get this video out to you guys nice and early, if not just on time, and hopefully not a week late. So let me go ahead and start building, and I'll see you guys in just a bit and we'll talk about it and see what we've done. Okay? Sweet. Welcome back, guys. Just wanted to take a quick break from all the building, so we're going to have a look at the greenhouse on its own before we start adding in all the little decorations on the outside and also on the inside. It's going to get quite noisy with the build, so I figured we should have a nice look before all of that happens. But as you can see, this is a greenhouse, nothing too crazy, not yet finished, but the structure is, and I'm really loving the way it has turned out with the gradients, with the textures, with the different blocks and all that things. I really love what you can do with all the stairs. You can kind of revert it and put it upside down on itself, and it gives you these nice little holes that you can then make into nice little details. Something that if you're not doing, I think you should do in your build because it does come out quite cool. Making our way up here, we can take a nice look at the very top. This is what I am currently falling in love with. It's what you can do with copper and all its different gradients. Look at that, from orange to green. It is the one and only block that I think in Minecraft you can do that with its own block. Just have to get an axe and just cut it down to its different gradients, but that looks fantastic. Originally it was just black stained glass, which I've kept at the very top, as you can see, but I figured we should change it just for some more color. And I think all in all it was probably the best decision for this build, considering that it looks way more colorful than it did before. But what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments down below. But let's go ahead and let's have a look at the inside. This is what it looks like on the inside. I think that also looks pretty cool, where everything has come out with the arches and also the way it's almost kind of like some sort of star at the very top. But we're going to cover that with a nice big, I think, vine or maybe some flowers that kind of drape across. So this is also another good reason as to why I've just stopped building and just show you guys so we can really admire everything before we can't see much of anything else. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's start doing the floor. I think we're going to do the floor first and then work our way up. And I'm going to do that with some of these blocks right here. Got some bricks, got some granite, and we're going to go ahead and just start texturing this floor. And I think we should start maybe from the center right here. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll cut that out. Maybe we'll start off with a brick and we'll work our way out onto either side. No, actually, I think first we should dig a hole. Maybe not a hole, but we should at least get rid of the top layer of this grass first, just to make things a little bit easier for us. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start adding in the bricks that we said we'll do before. Now, in terms of where to put these bricks, I'm not too sure. Haven't really figured it out. But what I do know is that this floor is going to be covered up eventually with other things, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and put some bricks everywhere else. Just scatter them around in a particular place. And then we can move on to the next step. Okay, with the bricks in, we can go ahead and add some of the granite. Again, it is going to be covered up, so I'm just going to place them just near and around these bricks because they are the same color, so putting them next to each other wouldn't be such a bad idea. And after we've done that, we can go ahead and add in the filler blocks. Speaking of filler block, let's go ahead and add that in. For me, it is going to be moss blocks because we are in a greenhouse, and I do want to make it look like this greenhouse has affected the floor, so I'm going to add that in as well. It's not going to all be granite and bricks. And lastly, just for these little extra holes that we have dotted around, I'm going to go ahead and fill them up with some mossy cobblestone, because granite and bricks, they don't just go from that to moss. There's a little in between, so let's go ahead and add some of that as well. I think something that you should pay attention to when you're designing floors, or maybe just making a floor, is just to ask yourself, where is this going to be and what are the areas and the conditions that this floor will be in. And I think that it leads you down the correct path if you are doing something like this. There is no particular wrong or right way, although I'm sure some people might say there is, but I don't think so. I think in the end, however you do it is probably the best way. After all, we each have our own different styles and our own different methods. So do it the way you do it, and I'm sure that'll turn out great. But with that being said, the floor is now done. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing the rest of the stuff that we might find in the greenhouse. And then we're going to work our way out. We're going to start inside here. And then we might just follow out into the villager inn or somewhere around there. All right, let's get to it. And there it is, guys. We are now all done with the greenhouse build. We got the structure, and now we have all the little things, all the little decorations inside as well, which is fantastic, but we won't go in there yet. We'll have a nice little look later on. First, I want to touch on what we've done on the outside. Before, we didn't have all this other copper stuff. It was very flat, and it didn't have too much depth, so I thought we might as well add some of these since we had some spare ones. I've done that to all 4 entrances, and also again gone with little gradients as well, and I think that looks pretty fantastic. Adds a nice little pop of color again, as opposed to just using some black stained glass for this little area. We've gone ahead and used the copper trapdoors, and I think that was also a good idea. I guess you could imagine it to be some sort of sliding door, maybe some sort of sliding window. They slide open and closed when they need to, and also because it's a greenhouse with these little holes inside, I think it makes for a perfect kind of theme, or maybe perhaps kind of lore that these things inside here need to breathe, because, you know, green things, trees and all that such, they do need to breathe, as do we. But nothing else too crazy. We did add a bunch of these spore blossom things all around the entrance as well, because as you can see, all the little particles moving around, everything feels much more alive and much more green in a way, because they are green, right? But with that being said, let's go inside. We also have some of these rooted stuff. Don't know what they're called. but we're gonna call them rooted stuff. We've got some of those hanging around as well, mostly in all of these areas. And as you can see, once we step inside, this place feels absolutely packed. That is exactly what I was going for. I wanted this place to feel like there was no room to move around. As you can see, we're gonna squeeze through these things. We're gonna sometimes even walk up and over things. For example, over here, and maybe even squeeze into these little what do you call these, shelves? But nothing too crazy that you would find in this greenhouse. Everything you can find outside, anything you can grow as a, I guess, something that's green, you can find in here. For example, we've got carrots, beetroots, and I think those are potatoes. Maybe. Yeah. Also got melons, and I think coming over here, we have a whole bunch of the leaves that you can find in pots. Not leaves, sorry, the saplings, different types of saplings, and also different types of flowers. Of course, I didn't get all the different types of flowers. It was a bit too hard to get all of them, and I didn't want this build to take too much longer than it already has, so we just stuck with the ones that you can see here. But other than that, nothing else. Got some cactus over here, got some wild berries, and also got this little minecart trick, like a nice little pot. We have a sunflower on that, and I think there's also like a rose somewhere around here. Yeah, a rose over here, and a whole bunch of pots, chests, barrels, and other such things. Look at this place. And also, if we look up, before I did mention that we wouldn't have a nice view of the roof anymore, because now we have a whole bunch of cherry leaves just all over the place, because they also give out some amazing particles. Look at that one. Just nice pink particles that add to the green, and it just adds to this entire atmosphere. I really love the way this place has turned out, and I hope you guys do as well. Please let me know what you guys think about this entire place. This thing looks absolutely amazing, and we're just getting started. Let's go down from here. What else did we add in here? We also did add some banners. I'm going to add more banners a bit outside, because they do move, they do wave, and just like the particles, they add a little bit more life, a little bit more movement to this entire build. We have some campfires just all over the place, some cauldrons as well, and candles and lichens around just to light this place up ever so slightly without having to use some lanterns or some harsh light, and also some glow berries as well. But that is pretty much basically it with this greenhouse. This is now all done. We are now going to start building something else. At first, I was going to build this entire section as well. I did have some plans for it, but I figured we should get all the other builds done first before we start filling out this area by adding decorations related to the greenhouse. So let's go ahead and make another build, which is just going to be over here. So we had Makeda mention in the comments of the last episode that we should add a church. And that is exactly what we're going to do. This little area here is quite a void of nothing. So we're going to go ahead and add something. I think we're going to get rid of these trees, and we're going to add that church right here. So we're going to terraform it a little bit. We are going to cover that little sewage hole over there that we go to get our villages from, but that's okay. We can find a nice and different entrance for that. So we'll level this place out. We'll add a nice little platform, and then we'll build a nice little church on top, okay? So that's what we'll do next. And then I think after that, we might do one more build. If not, we might go ahead and just start adding smaller builds around this area and also towards the greenhouse. And then actually, we will have to texture a few of these rocks that you see behind me, and also the walls as well. We'll get those done. And then I think we'll call it a day. But that is still quite a long time from now. So I'm going to jump right into it. Let's go ahead and let's get this finished off. And I'll see you guys once we've done the church, and we'll have a nice little look like we have with the greenhouse. Okay? See you guys in a bit. Today's comment of the day goes to Atticus, and they said, just finished this series. These videos feel so good. It's some of the highest quality editing and builds they have seen, and they would also love the chance to see this world up close. So would there be a world download? Thank you, Atticus, for your comment. And yes, there will be a world download, but not yet. I do want to add a few more things, a few more builds before I give that out, but there will be, so stay tuned. Thanks again for your comment. the final piece, the cross. Perfect. All right. And there it is, guys. The church is now done, and doesn't it look fantastic? Especially with the sun rising in the background, and also as it sits right in front of this nice blue sky. It is a very small build. Nothing too crazy with the actual build. I did want to make it small just because I wanted to fit it in this nice little space, and it is already in between a lot of other big builds. So to make this a big build would be, I would say, wouldn't fit the landscape exactly, but I love this little church and the way it's turned out. Let's have a nice little look at it. As you can see, nothing too crazy with the patterns, just got a whole bunch of diorite. Really wanted to make this out of diorite. Haven't used this kind of palette before. All the other ones are pretty brown and pretty bony, but we did use some bones in these ones as well, just to differentiate the little tower and the little things from the actual building itself. But like I said, nothing too crazy. A lot of diorite, got a lot of concrete powder and also some calcite in there. And I think this is a really cool use of it. I didn't think it would work, but the longer I stare at it, the more I love it. Just got some birch logs in there. Just the way it matches in with the calcite and also with the concrete powder. And it's got these little black marks in there, almost to show that this building has some sort of damage in it, if not just some cracks along the edges, which I thought was a great little detail, I hope. But other than that, you can see we've got some classic gradients with the woods. We've got some stripped kinds. We've got oak, which leads into spruce, which then leads into some dark oak, and then your usual bamboo, scaffolding for the windows with some campfires as well. And also this nice little fencing, this little railing just to section it off from itself, because we are going to add in quite a bit of other details in here, and we want to section this off from everything else. Other than that, nothing else I think we can speak of about the outside, except for the bone blocks, you know, the things that I've usually used, and also got a nice big cross at the very top. But that being said, I think that pretty much covers the outside. We can take another little walk around. We do have another little section here. Oh, over here we did change it up a little bit. We didn't use scaffolding for once. We'd use some nice glass panes and also some iron bars, which I think is appropriate for a church, maybe in the medieval days. I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Oh, that is a nice view. What do you guys think of the church? Please let me know in the comments down below. But let's go ahead. Let's go inside and let's see what I've done. So nothing crazy. Again, it is quite a simple build. So it's got quite a simple interior. We do have a podium. Not too sure what it's called, but a podium for the priest to sit in. And as you can see, we do have a librarian here because we have a lectern, and I think he suits this place exactly right. Hi, how you doing? We don't have a name for him. If you guys got a name for him, let me know. Or if you do want to be the Pope or the father of this church, let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, we've got some seats over here that we can sit down on, kind of. Got some bookshelves, some chests, and some other little things around. And got some candles. I like the candles, and also another little cross. And if we look up, we have a bell, quite a small bell. I did try to make a larger bell with some gold blocks, but it just didn't fit because this is already a 3x3 space. So it just pretty much took up the whole thing. But the bell is connected, as you can see, to some grindstones, which is then connected down by some chains to some more grindstones, which then comes out to the side to this little thing here. So if you could imagine, when it is time for service, we'll have Father Priest over here. He'll tug on this rod, which then will ring the bell, and then the service will start. But there, that's it. That's our little church done. Nice little church. Some arches along the sides. Every old medieval church needs some arches. So we added those in. But that being said, that's all done. The church is now done. We've got to start adding some detail. As cool as it does look on its own, I think it is a bit lonely. And we need to definitely fix this place up. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull all of this little grass section back against that wall there. We're going to extend the wall down. We're going to definitely decorate the walls, especially the ones that kind of run along the back and also the sides up until here. I think we might remove this. I don't think we need that, and I think because this is obstructing the view a little bit as we make our path come through, we will get rid of this tree and also this rock this boulder over here as well. So that's what we're going to do. And I think we'll start adding things in the back as well. Not too sure yet, but what we will do is definitely remove this tree. It seems a bit awkward, just standing there on its own, and we might shape this little bit right here. I do like a little bit of variance in the level, so maybe we'll cut that down and we'll bring it out around here, and maybe bring it down by 1 block, and then as well as remove the tree. But we'll do all that now. We'll finish up with the church, and then we'll have a nice little look, and then we'll go ahead and we'll finish up the greenhouse decoration as well, because we didn't do that yet. We went straight to building the church, as you guys may have seen. So that's a lot of work to do. Okay, it's raining. Fantastic. A lot of work to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it, and I'll see you guys in just a bit. We'll also see if we can get some of the rocks and all that other stuff in the background done as well. And whilst I do that, I'll answer some questions, because you guys did have a few questions in the comments down below. So I'll go ahead and answer those for you guys, and we'll see where that gets us, okay? Might end the episode there. It is quite a long episode already, and I definitely don't think this video will come out on time. But I hope you guys can forgive me. Okay, let's get going. Yep, this is the view. Look at this, guys. Look at this view. You can't see the church because it's partially blocked by these trees and also this little archway over here. Welcome back, guys. As you can see, everything is now done in the cemetery, and I'm just admiring this nice view over here. Let's have a little walkthrough. But holy moly, these two trees, these two custom trees really fit in quite well on the sides. I wasn't too sure before making these. Maybe it was a little bit too stuffy, but every time I walk through here, I just think, holy moly, look at that sun just bleeding through barely as the sun rises over the church. It looks fantastic, and I'm super happy with how this has turned out. But enough of these two trees. Let's go ahead and have a look at the rest of this build. Guys, what do you think? We've added a whole bunch of detailing. We've got the footpath in here. We've got a lot of grass that I've scattered around. We've also have these little crypts. As you can see, we've got 1, 2, and 3, and they are decrepit. They are breaking down. We've got some moss blocks. We've also got some tuff. We've got some andesite and some polished andesite and all that stuff. And also some of these little candle things. I'm sure you guys have seen this before, this little trick to make it look like the candle wax is coming down and just going all over the floor. And if you haven't, well, there it is, guys. We got that going as well along these crypts. And I just love the way these things have turned out, especially with the acacia leaves. I really like acacia leaves. They look way better than, I would say, the oak leaves, because it's not so bright, and also it has a lot more texture to it, a lot more patterns. But again, guys, what do you think of these crypts? We also do have some nice little coffins, but I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with these crypts yet. I'm thinking maybe we can make some sort of secret entrance, because we still need to make an entrance into the little villager trading that we have down there. That's how I've been repairing all of the tools. Just going down there, digging a hole right around there, going down into the villagers and trading them some iron bars for some XP, so we can level up our items and get them back to full health. But these crypts might be the fix for that. Instead of having to dig a hole, we'll dig a hole down here, make a secret entrance down that leads into the villager inn, just under that. But as you can see, nothing else too special. We have these chairs, these seats that you might see in a cemetery. They're just usually made out of like some sort of really polished stone. And I figured this smooth stone and smooth stone slabs fit the bill, especially with these iron trapdoors on top. But that being said, that is the front. Nothing too crazy. Kept it quite simple. Might add a few more things because we do have a lot of space here, as you can see. A lot of dead space over here, over there, and also over here. I'm not too sure what to do there. If you guys have an idea, let me know what I could add in here. But let's go into the back and let's have a look. But first, look at this nice little gate. Holy moly, I am really loving this gate. Again, didn't know if it was a bit too much. It's quite tall. Doesn't really connect to that side of the wall. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it looks fantastic. So we have this one open. And as you guys may have seen a little glimpse, that one over there, we do have one as well, but it is closed. So this is the only way we get into the back, other than going to the actual church as well. But we're going to go this way. And let's have a look at this cemetery. This graveyard, I think, again, it has turned out quite magnificently. We might add another tree here because it is quite plain. It is quite, well, I think in terms of the height level, we need something tall here. We did have a tree. I did get rid of it. But I'm thinking we might add another custom tree just over there behind this tombstone, this little graveyard over here. But like I said, I am super happy with how this has turned out, which is weird to say because this is, you know, a cemetery. I don't know if we can be happy about a cemetery or happy to be in one, but I am because of the way everything has turned out. We've got these gravestones all around. As you can see, it is all decrepit. It is all worn out. We've got mossy cobblestone. We've got some cobblestone, some tuff, and some polish andesite just bleeding through on all of these things. And also, we got some pots as well and some candles just dotted around so that we don't have any mobs spawning here. Yes, I did only use these blue flowers because I like blue. Blue is my favorite color, and I figured I didn't want too much color here, although maybe it does deserve some. Maybe we can add different colors in here later on, but for now, nothing is going to change, I think. Maybe, I'm not too sure, but who knows? Maybe I'll add something in the future, but for now, I think we'll keep it the way it is. But this is the graveyard, the cemetery, all done. No, we should not be standing on these gravestones, but just want to get a nice high view. And this place looks absolutely amazing at nighttime too, because the minimal lighting because of these candles. Oh, I'm super happy with how this has turned out. Guys, let me know what you think about this particular build. Perhaps you want me to add something extra. It could be anything. Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's finish off the rest of today's build. We still got a lot more to do in terms of the greenhouse. We have a whole bunch of things to do there, more decorating, but for the church it is now done. I would call this done. Oop. We might remove this thing too. Not too sure. I mean, it didn't block the sightline at all. We did remove the tree here, but not sure about this rock. Maybe we'll leave it there for now. But in terms of the church, it is all done. So let's go ahead and let's get cracking with this greenhouse over here. So for this greenhouse, we're going to add a whole bunch of things. We're going to add some more custom trees. I think we're going to finish up this wall over here. We might bring it all the way around. We might dig out this level of grass as well and just bring the wall all the way around there. We'll add a nice custom tree here. Maybe some flower beds. Not too sure about that yet. Some flower beds. Maybe one over there, one over here, and another one dotted around there somewhere. Just because, well, we need to fill up space. I'm not really sure what to do with that space. Instead of just putting other things, we might just put some flower beds. Make it nice and simple because this is a greenhouse, so it wouldn't be too far off from the theme as well. We'll do that. We'll add in some bamboos all around just to give this place some height. And I think we'll call it a day from there. We might add some more details, but I believe a subscriber called Monica has wanted me to add some carts, maybe some market stalls around here. So we might do that as well. Maybe down there, or maybe just across here. But that is something we'll have to check out later because we need to start going. This video is dragging on for quite a bit. Hope you guys don't mind. And if you guys have stuck around for this far, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. With that being said, let's go ahead. Let's finish this thing off. Let's finish the walls. Let's decorate all that stuff as well. And then we'll have a nice little look. And then we'll call it a day. What do you guys think? Sounds good? Perfect. All right. I'll see you guys in just a short moment. Bye. And the next comment of the day goes to Himpy. And they say they absolutely love the episodes when they come out. The editing style, the play style are just so chill and relaxing and different from the usual trend of fast-paced content, and that they also enjoy all the builds. Well, Himpy, thank you very much for your comment, and I really like your name. I really hope that you enjoy today's builds. Thank you again for your comment. Now that is a pretty good view. What do you guys think? Welcome back, guys. As you can see, we have now finished most of the things that we have set off to do in today's episode. We still have a few more things to do, but we're going to do that and answer some questions later on. For now, let's have a quick walkthrough and have a look at the things that we've done in front of the greenhouse. As you guys can see, we have a whole bunch of decoration, and also look at these particles. I have gone ahead and put some more spore blossoms around this place just to give it that little extra oomph with the particles. But yes, look at this. We have some custom mushrooms. We have some flower beds, as you can see, a whole bunch of them. One over there, and I think, yep, some more over there. And also some custom trees have been added in as well, just over there as well, just to give this place a little bit more greenery, a little bit more life. But other than that, nothing much else was added. We got some leaves around the area over here, over there. Also got these little shelves that we got from the greenhouse, just a little bit outside as well. Almost like they're drying out these things over here. I think these are the glowberries. And also just to my right here, we got some bamboo that's growing. But as you can see, we've capped them off with some string so they don't grow any higher and so they don't grow any taller, because I think variation in height is very important in terms of building and also in terms of making things look nice. But other than that, again, another flower bed, custom tree. This one you can walk into. The other ones you cannot. We just got them closed off. But this one is the only one that you can walk into. Not too sure why I did that, but I figured that little entrance over there made a bit of a difference. I don't know. Maybe. You guys let me know. But otherwise, we do have some carts as well. Some custom made carts. And one over here. And also one over there as well. A bigger one just over here. And while we're here, I do want to touch on this little feature as well. I was going to get rid of this tree. Ooh, that's a cool view. But I figured we could do something with it. I figured we could make some sort of like rope apparatus kind of hanging off them as well, tied onto some lamppost or just some posts over there. And I think it comes out really cool. Like, it's got some little overhang that you can just walk under, some overpass. Kind of adds a nice little feature to this entire build as well. I think it's turned out quite nice. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those quote-unquote ropes hanging off of them onto some posts. Adds a nice little effect to this place. A nice little festive type of effect, I think. But what do you guys think? Let's go to the back, actually. Let's go to the back. Some pots there. Got some more leaves, some bamboo as well. Nothing too crazy, just a nice little path that kind of leads to the back here with some more custom-made mushrooms. I really love the way they kind of split apart and off to the sides like that. And just here, another path that leads around. Not too sure what to add around here. Some space, as you guys can see. If you guys do have any idea, please let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, let's go on forward and walk down this nice little path that I've made with some brown mushroom blocks, some coarse dirt, some granite, and some packed mud. Nice little path, very simple. But over here is probably one of my little favorite parts, is this little thing here. It's so simple, yet it is so effective in just the way it frames this starter house. That is my starter house, if you guys haven't seen the first episode. But yes, just these two little towers, nothing too crazy. The pattern, pretty much the same as the church over there. We've got the birch, the calcite, and also the white concrete powder mixed in with some diorite, and also just some of those special little, what do you call those? Shutters? Some shutters with the jungle blocks. But yes, I really love this little framing. Look at that. Fantastic. It kind of also does remind me of the Stud House because they do have a few things in common. Just looking at them anyway. But coming through here, we have a nice little arch as well. And I've gone ahead and used some light grey stained paint or pane glass just to give it that extra little round effect. I think it looks pretty cool at first. Wasn't too sure, but now looking at it, yeah, I think it kind of shapes it out a little bit more. Done it on that one side and also this side here. And as you guys can see, we've continued this path all the way down because eventually what we've got to do next is add a nice wall that kind of cuts off around here. We're going to get rid of this section of glass and we're going to add a nice little wall just along here all the way around. And then I think we'll add a wall here as well. So the reason why I added that little entrance was because I wanted there to be two ways to enter the greenhouse or just up in that section over there. So we'll have one just over there eventually. And then one here that you guys just saw me come through. But with that being said, yeah, we do have some pillagers down here. With that being said, guys, we are now done with the main builds of today. I'm going to go ahead and fix up a few more things and we're going to go ahead and answer some questions while I do that because you guys did have a bunch of questions mainly to do with my resource packs, my shaders, and also some other little things. So I'm going to go ahead and answer that for you guys whilst we fix up a bit of the other things that we have left undone. Okay? So let's go ahead and start that and let's go ahead and answer some of your questions. So the first question that I get asked the most is what kind of shaders do I use? That is a great question. I use complementary shaders, specifically version 4.4. It's quite an old version, but I tend to think that it looks the best, better than any of the new and recent updates. But of course, that is just my opinion. Next up is the second question that I get asked the most, and that is what kind of resource packs do I use? I do have a fair few resource packs. Some of them are mainly from Vanilla Tweaks. I would recommend you guys go ahead and check out that website. They have an amazing bunch, but specifically for me, I use Better Leaves. I also use 3D chiseled bookshelves. You may have seen them in my world. They look very cool because they have a lot of depth. I also have better lanterns, which make the lantern look more 3D. And also I have default connected textures, which just help things blend into each other a bit more. And also fresh animations. And lastly, I do have a better 3D resource pack, which just makes certain blocks look a little bit better, a little bit more depth in each and every one of those blocks. And lastly, I do get asked what kind of mods do I use? Another fantastic question. I use a whole bunch of mods. Most of them are performance enhancing mods just to make my game run a bit smoother and also so I can record smoothly at a constant FPS. There are quite a few of them, like I said, so I'm not going to list them. I'm just going to put them down in the description below, so please check them out. Please make sure to read the descriptions because for some mods you will need to download another mod just so they can run within Fabric. But outside of those performance enhancing mods, I am currently using Armor Poser, Auto Clicker, Better Clouds, Better F3, Blur, Boosted Brightness, Camera Utilities, Continuity, Recam, Mod Menu, No Trial Chambers, Replay Mod, and lastly World Edit. And with that being said, guys, we are now all done with today's video. And you guys saw in the little montage, I did go ahead and put in some nice little walls around these certain areas and also down there around the stables and just a new wall stretching along there. But we are now done with the conclusion of those walls. And I do want to say this was a very big episode. We did actually end up making 2 medium builds, not including the actual decorations that go along with it. For example, the crypts and also these flower beds and whatnot. So technically 2 large builds. I think in hindsight wasn't the best idea, but I did love the journey. I loved the process and also loved how everything has turned out. And I hope you guys did as well. Perhaps in the future, when I do something like this sort of video where we take on suggestions, I do smaller ones, or maybe I give myself a bit more time, a bit more heads up for these types of builds. But what I did find out about doing today's episode is that I really like building things without a purpose. Usually I like to make certain builds with purpose. For example, we have the village inn behind us where we have the villagers and where we can breed them. We also have the iron farm in the back and also the rocket shop and the tree shop. So all these things have purpose. But for today, in today's build, not so much. We just have a greenhouse, we just have a church, and I think that is okay. We don't need a purpose for everything other than just to fill up space. So I'm thinking maybe I can go ahead and do some more of those types of builds. But what do you guys think? Do you think that's a good idea? Or should everything have purpose? Let me know in the comments down below. And speaking of comments, guys, thank you so much for all your suggestions, all your comments from the last episodes and all the other episodes before that. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. And with that being said, I think it's time for me to end today's episode. So guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Until then, bye!